It's like I said for the beginning. I drove the Soul, I'm pretty sure, on the 15th. And I came in after 6:30 or around 6:30ish or so. I don't know exactly what time.
Hi, my name is Dee, and you're watching Dee True Crime and Commentary. Thank you for watching, and this is going to be about Andybernard and fredhill conversation. This video is in accordance with the Fair Use Act of 1976 for informational and for commentary.
I mean, you was caught on camera at Zoomers at 5:30.
There was no way I was on camera at Zoomers at 5:30, Fred. I was at work until at least 6 o'clock on that day because we had to stay over because we had a bunch of bullshit come in. Even on a normal day, the store at Hayward closes at 5:30. We try to have everything done 15 minutes before the doors close. That way we can get out of there. It takes us 15 minutes to 20 minutes to get the doors locked and all the technicians to run out the door like we're on fire.
But I'm not accusing you of doing anything or anything wrong. You have a right to be on that road that day, on any day. But it just raises questions why you was beyond your driveway and why was you go all the way to the dead end, and why was that blue truck following you out? I mean, that's only
no.
You know, it don't mean you done anything to summer or nothing like that. I'm just saying it just raises questions, you know.
In my opinion, if Fred really meant that, he wouldn't have been on his ass for 3.5, 4 years. He would have let it go. But Ziggy keeps instigating it. It seems to me like Ziggy really wants Andy to be guilty of something. But Jodisue is the one that set that whole scenario up with Andy, about Andy being guilty of something. She implied Andy did all kinds of stuff, as far as to say he was a murderer of children. Remember the shoe being left in the truck, the little baby shoe? And Jodisue told us about that. And she implied a lot about Andy and his actions, and it wasn't good. Jodisue Brown had no right to bring Andy into this like she has done, and she continues to do. She had no business even talking about Summer Wells, in my opinion. Sometimes when you hear Jodisue talk about Summer, you would think that she's talking about her own child that she brought into the world, instead of a little neighbor child that Andy says they didn't even hardly know, that family.
What kind of dark truck? I don't know nobody that drives a dark truck in and out of the holler right there. I know Fred's dad used to have a dark colored truck, but other than that, I didn't pay attention to who lived past me unless they was causing problems or aggravating me. I don't pay attention to what goes on. And most days I was gone 6 days a week from at least 9 o'clock in the morning to at least 6 o'clock in the evening. So once I hit that hill, I didn't pay attention to who come in and out that holler. I didn't care. If they wasn't bothering me or coming to see me, I didn't care. Whether or not she cared or not, that's on her.
Oh, she cared, all right, because she noticed every truck creak, every brake squeak, and every acceleration up that hill.
But why were you all the way down at the end?
I wasn't all the way down on the end of Ben Hill Road on the 15th. I wasn't even all the way down on the end of Ben Hill on the 14th. I went to the house past Fred's mom and dad's house. You know where I went, Fred, right?
You was on camera past her on the 15th. The law enforcement has to.
No, sir. Okay. This is all I've got to say on that. If they had me on camera on the 15th in the holler, they have never came to me and said, sir, we have you on camera on the 15th. What was you doing here? They showed up at my work at Hayworth, spoke to my boss, and watched the cameras, seen me on camera. So to me, if I had been on that road on
What
the
time did they see you on
15th,
camera? He wanted to
do
know.
what?
He asked what time did they see you on camera?
They had the camera all day from the time I got there at 8:30 to the time I left.
So it's never going to come out, or nobody's going to ever have any type of proof of you being on the road between those hours on the 15th.
I was not there on the 15th.
Did they have to have a warrant to enter any of your property?
No. No, they searched what they wanted to. I wanted them to find Summer. Why would I want to hinder in a missing child's case? I had nothing to do with any of that. My guilt lies in selling Dawn and Candace weed. Dawn and Candace, not the kids, not anybody for anybody to give to the kids. Dawn and Candace. I'm not liable once I walk away.
These people sure like to switch phones around and recycle them among other people.
So they didn't have to have a warrant to go into your house?
No, they brought the dogs in my house. They took the dogs in every one of the buildings at my house.
None of the
They searched.
properties, 0 of the properties, they had to have a warrant.
No. Why would I keep them off my property? I had nothing to hide.
I don't know. That's why we were asking.
Okay. Now, if I left and they come through and searching, and she said that she couldn't give permission for them to search, I don't know. I was not allowed back on the property till September of 21. September 6th of 21 is the first day I was back on that property after I left.
From the very beginning of this, didn't we hear that they're the neighbors that wouldn't let their house and property be searched? Didn't we hear that?
I know where the Ford Escort said at your mom's house. Even if I did go in the holler on that day and you was loading it up, why would you have had to move? That car was off the road enough to where I could have got by easily.
For well over 3.5 years, we've heard how Fred hauled cars that day. But the last 6 months, he's been saying that he hauled motorcycles that day, and he went to Light Road to pick one up. So whose story keeps changing? Please leave a comment. Let me know what you think and what your ideas and thoughts are.
No, it wasn't. It was sitting along the edge of the road. I had a trailer parked in the road loading it.
Okay. Last time I seen it, it was sitting probably 16 foot off the road with a big oak tree across it.
No.
You're talking about the blue Escort that your mom and daddy used to drive?
Yes.
That was sitting at the bottom of their driveway?
I sure am.
Well, I didn't see you on the 15th in that holler, bro. I don't care.
So you're saying you didn't pass me or nothing? You didn't go by my house, no nothing?
Not on the not on the 15th. I seen you on the 14th when you come in on the 14th because you about took it. I'm pretty sure that was the day you about took the door off my car and I squalled at you. It was either that or Sunday. I can't remember. I've had too much shit going on in my life between my fucked up relationship and everything to remember what days, whatever happened. But I was not in that holler on Ben Hill Road on the 15th. I was there the 14th because I was dealing with Jackie Dobbs and I came home early or didn't even go to work that day. And then I took off after someone went missing. That way my kids and people, and then I was there just to deal with people searching and stuff like that.
So I didn't have to move out of the road for you to go by me while I was loading the car on the 15th?
No. Dude, I don't even remember coming in the holler and you having to move your trailer or your truck. I do not remember meeting you with a trailer or a truck. I don't remember that. But I was not in Ben Hill Road on the 15th, Fred. I swear to God, dude, I was at work. Do you not think if the law had anything else asked me that they had done come and asked me, or if I was on the road, even lying, that they would have come and said, well, sir, I've not talked to them since I left that property. Nobody's came at me to question me, nothing. And I've not been hiding. Every year since I've left, I've had to go to court at least one time a year. Hawkins County, Sullivan County.
Are you recorded the night of the 15th, or is Jodisue recorded the night of the 15th, telling you when's the last time, or asking you when is the last time you saw Summer alive?
I mean, I don't know if that was on the 15th. I mean, she knows when the last time I seen Summer was.
But
It
why
was
would
the
you stay
14th
alive?
or the 13th.
On that night, why'd she ask you, did you see her up there today? Were you on the hill on the 15th?
I was across the hill on the 15th after I got home, after 6:30, when people was looking for Summer. I went across the top of the hill to talk to Don and Candace, and then I went back over to my hill, or back down to the valley to help hunt. I wasn't there before. I was not around Ben Hill Road, the shed, or any of that right there until at least 6:30.
Were you at Zoomers on the 15th?
Not at no 5 or 5:30, probably around 6 or 6:15, 6:10, 6:20, somewhere in between 6 and 6:30. It takes me 28 minutes to get from Hayworth Tire to Beach Creek. About 28 minutes, depending on how you want to drive, and I usually drove it pretty good.
So you don't have friends who own motels like that you would bang hookers at, like what Jodisue says? I'm sorry, it's
No.
such a
No,
I just have to be
she's
blunt.
okay. I have not banged hookers. I have not bought hookers. I have not purchased prostitutes. I've been to the strip club. I've purchased lap dances. I mean, but no, I have more of a moral about myself to go purchase sex from a female. I'm telling the truth. I feel that I'm telling the truth. He feels he's telling the truth. I mean, if anybody's got any questions in law enforcement, they can come to me. I don't care. I was not there on the 15th, man. I had nothing to do with the little girl getting gone. I had everything to do with selling them a little bit of weed. But other than that, that's my guilt. Weed to the neighbors is my guilt.
But no pills or sedatives? Did you guys sell
No,
pills?
I never sold no pills to them.
Where would Jodisue get her pills that she was selling to over there?
That's Ziggy. That is not in my spot answer. That is something that will get me in trouble. I didn't go to Knoxville and hang out in hotels. I went to Anderson County, or Andersonville, Tennessee. Andersonville, Tennessee is what it was called. Norris Lake, Stardust Marina. I worked for a multimillionaire on his houseboat doing stuff so he could sell the houseboat. He had friends beside the houseboat on the lake, and I would work on their houseboats too. But that stopped at least 5 to 7 years before Summer went missing, because I started at Hayworth and could not go down there and do that stuff anymore. Plus, he sold the houseboat.
Anderson County, Tennessee is located in the eastern part of the state and is known for its rich history, diverse attractions, and outdoor recreation opportunities. It's part of the Knoxville metropolitan area and is home to the city of Clinton, which serves as the county seat. And this is 2 photos of the Stardust Marina where Andy said he worked on the boat.
They did take the SD cards. Law enforcement did take the SD cards. Oh my God.
If they have SD cards, or they seen the SD cards with me on it, then I mean, at this point, I'll agree to disagree with you, bro.
I don't think either one of you are going to change your mind. So, are you, Fred? I mean, are you thinking it differently?
I've seen the proof, you know.
He says, Fred's seen the proof, he says, from law enforcement. Fred says he worked with law enforcement and recorded you guys. Do you think he's lying? Because you said he's not a reliable source. Why do you think he's not a reliable source? Just because of the drugs or what? Because I mean,
I never said he lied about working for the police.
you said he's not a reliable witness. So why though? What's your reasoning? That's fine. It's just I mean, anything. Tell us why you don't think he's reliable.
Because when I got in trouble, they didn't like me because of my history, my past, and my drug use. And I just smoked weed. You've got to have some sort of. Now, I don't know. I didn't deal with Hawkins County. When I went through my situation. But, they asked me questions when I got raided in September of 2009 or shortly after and shit like that. They did not like me because of my attitude and my drug use and my reputation and all of the above.
No problems with nobody. I mean, I've not even said that he had anything to do with Summer. He just, why say that he wasn't on the road and stuff that day when he's on camera and everything on the road that day? I said I did wire wiring on him and Jodisue and Don. They all three was talking.
I just want people to understand. Now what? I want to hear, Fred, I'm just saying, circumstances are different by all means. If you spoke with the law, you worked with the law, you told them what you know. I don't know. I don't care. That's you, bro. That is you. Now, look, if you were a wire on me, seriously, did I say anything to you that says anything about me being on that road or having anything to do with Summer being missing?
No, but Jodisue's asking you questions. When the last time you seen Summer alive and stuff on the recording?
Well, okay. Yeah, just because I answered.
The last time you seen Summer, and you told her you seen her earlier that day, and that was on the 15th.
You feel the way you feel, man. I feel the way I feel. I have nothing against you. I don't care. If you feel the way you feel about that situation, that's all fine and dandy. I have no hard feelings. No. I seen her on the 14th or the 13th, or the both days. I can't remember, man. But no, I wasn't there. I didn't see her on the 15th. I seen her on the 14th. I seen her on the 13th.
You told that you seen, last time you seen her live was on the 14th on video. I mean, on the recording.
Okay. What, Fred, bro, what's wrong with me saying that?
You stated that you didn't see her on the 15th when you went over on the hill earlier that day.
Okay, Fred. What is wrong with me saying I seen her on the 14th alive?
But you didn't see her on the 15th is what you said when you went over there, is what he said at the end. He said you saw her on the 14th alive, and then on the 15th, you didn't see her when you went over there.
Okay. If I went over there on the 15th at 6:30 in the evening, I would not have seen her because she was done missing. And that would be an honest statement, not a lie, not an exaggeration. I wasn't on Ben Hill Road after 8 or 8:30 on the 15th morning. I was supposed to be at work at 8 o'clock. I always told them that I'd be there when I got there, and if they didn't like that, they could fire me. Why do you think I don't work there now? Because we got into a fight over me being late every day and me telling you to just basically eat a dick. But
so you just said you went over on the hill about 6:30, got down there about 6:30. You just said a while ago you was at Zoomer's between 6 and 6:30.
Okay, yeah. If I was at Zoomer's between 6 and 6:30, at some point in time, when I got there searching for Summer, I would have crossed that hill. My phone don't work down there, so I don't know what time it is. I can't tell time if I don't have a phone to tell time with. So I pulled in somewhere on Ben Hill Road between 6:30-ish. I don't know what time because I wasn't worried about what time it was. I was told that there was a missing little girl, and that was my priority at that point. Not what time it was, not who was here, not who was there. It was parking my car and looking for said child.
But it just feels like you would know. I don't know.
Let me ask you another question on the. It happened.
Ask me another question.
Same time it was recorded. What was the money that Don handed you for?
When?
On the 15th. Standing at the bottom of your driveway when they supposedly searching for Summer. When I was recording you for the police.
Okay, I don't remember him giving me any money on the 15th. At some point in time, I remember that. I don't think that was the 15th, bro. I think that was a couple days before that, or maybe a couple days after that.
Couldn't be a couple days before because nobody would hang out at the bottom of the driveway like that all together a couple days before.
Because it was him, Don, Jodisue.
I mean, regardless, if he gave me anything, it was money for weed, Fred. That's the only dealings I had with Don and Candace was weed. I didn't hang out with them.
The money transfer was for. That's the only concern.
Probably weed. I mean,
no, I just wondered if it was for Summer or what.
Well, okay. I mean, would $20 or $15 cover a child's, Fred? I mean, because they usually never bought over a gram of weed, and the going rates of weed right now would be $15 a gram, $18 a gram, $10 a gram, and you get 2 grams. I mean, I've even hooked Laura up at the gas station before for y'all. I mean, why you want to bring my business out here like that? I had nothing to do with Summer, bro. There was people running that holler all hours of the night, and they wasn't coming to my house. I mean, I'm trying to be couth. I'm trying to be civilized, mannerable, everything with every one of y'all. But you're trying to tell me for 3 years now, if I was on that road on the 15th lying to the police, you know damn good and well that they'd have come snatched me up for something. They snatched you up. They got you for something you didn't do in 21, did you? Was them charges from 21, Fred?
Into 21.
It was way out of Summer with Missing.
Yeah.
Okay. If I'd have been, if they wanted me, don't you think they'd have come got me on some weed charges?
Hawkins County don't believe too much in misdemeanors because if they did, they could have got Candace Bly for about 4 or 5 different charges. And just because the tail end of this crime happened in Hawkins County, Tennessee, doesn't mean the first part of this crime happened in Hawkins County, Tennessee, because it happened in Sullivan County, Tennessee, in my opinion.
They'd come got me on something.
They wasn't worried about that.
Okay, if they're not worried about that, bro, why are you persecuting me for 3 years? Because you say I was on the road. I'm saying I wasn't on the road. Why can't we move forward and you try to help find Summer instead of everything else?
My advice to Andy would be next time you want to do an interview, do it with somebody that's not biased against a suspect in this case. One more thing. Remember when Fred said he feels like something happened on the 14th and because of what all they were saying? Now, if he thinks something happened on the 14th, why is he still fucking with Andy? Because it can't be both ways. It either happened on the 14th or the 15th. So if he thinks it happened on the 14th, why is he still fucking with Andy? Ziggy has so much bias against anyone but Fred.
You in Knoxville and stuff. Like, you keep coming up as the problem.
Ziggy acts like she thinks everybody that's ever been to Knoxville is a bad person. Well, didn't you say you've been there a couple times, Ziggy? We never heard Andy say he's been to Knoxville. It was all those other people saying that Andy had been to Knoxville. Mainly Jodisue. But now that we know a little bit more and we can discern more about this case, we know that a lot of the crap that Jodisue said about andybernard is simply not true. It was all for hype, for bullshit, to elevate herself in the world of domestic violence victims.
Like what agency?
Hawkins County.
Hawkins County. How'd you do it? What day and time?
Well, it was on the 15th around 8:30.
So 8:30, and then that's when you walked right down. Then you walked right down there, right? And then that's when you got these conversations.
I got down there probably 8:45 or so.
So okay, so
Wait. On what day? Sorry.
On the 15th.
On the 15th, somebody was just asking him who placed the wire and.
Fred, I did not remember seeing you on the 15th standing down there. You came through out in the truck with your trailer later on that evening.
So what Fred's telling us is, okay, the call wasn't made to LE about Summer until 6:23 p.m. LE did not arrive at 1:10 until 7 o'clock, around 7. So by 8:30, they had people wired up, listening to the other people, standing around, the neighbors. But they took your phone. They took your phone, wired man. They didn't take their phone. So if they want to hear what they had to say, why didn't they take their phones and dip them, scrub them, whatever? They used you, Fredhill, to do their dirty ass work.
Man, you weren't standing down there and you didn't ask me no questions on the 15th. You asked me questions on the 16th, bro. I swear to God, it was the next day.
He didn't ask you questions, he said. He just.
No, it wasn't on the 15th, bro. It was on the 16th. You've got your days all concocted. You've got your days off by one day. One day. You seen me on the 14th when I was dealing with Jackie Dog, and you seen me on the 16th when you come down there and talk to me and Jodisue standing at the bottom of the road chilling. Because we was like, what the hell is he doing down here talking to us? Because you don't never talk to us like that.
I know that he's telling the truth, right?
I'm not saying he's lying. I wasn't on the road on the 15th. I was on the road on the 14th and the 16th.
So you're saying that I didn't wear the wire and record?
No.
Okay.
I didn't say you. I'm saying you did not wire a wire on me on the 15th. I'm saying it was the 16th.
And didn't Fred say at the beginning that when he wore that wire, something happened and they could hear people laughing or talking or something like that, and he had to quit? And as a result of that, no recording was legible. Isn't that what Fred said?
It was the day after someone went missing, and you come down through there puffing on your little thing, whatever the hell that was, and you were standing there talking to me and Jodisue at the bottom of the hill. Man.
What do you say, Fred? Do you think, could you have got that mixed up, you think?
No, there ain't no way, because they come to me on the 15th to do it. Because Don had just left my house, and they had me to do that.
How did Don get to your house when they had Don on top of the hill for I don't know how long talking to him and Candace? I mean, I don't remember seeing Don and Candace around the hill at the bottom of the hill on the 15th until late that night. And he finally come off the hill. Maybe he did go to your house. I'm pretty sure he might have, but I wasn't paying that much attention.
Don and his oldest son did both come to my house.
Well, okay. I don't know. Okay, let me ask you a question. I would be charged if I was guilty, right?
It takes time to build a case.
Yeah, it does take time to build a case, but they also have statutes of limitations that they have to abide by.
They didn't charge Fred till like a year after that whole drug deal. For that drug
3 years. It's been almost 3 years.
My indictments, the indictments take up to 2 years to come out.
Okay, that's done come and pass. Come and pass. We're at 2.5 years.
I think
or more.
You know that there's probably a lot of people involved in this, And that's
I don't,
probably why.
okay, Ziggy, I don't think there's nowhere near what people involved in this as everybody goes on to think there is. I think this is something just as simple as anything else. I don't think this is some sort of big, elaborate, everybody's involved type situation. Hey, Fred, I got a question for you, bro. Did you ever think that there'd be a child go missing in Beach Creek?
No, it's never happened before.
How old was you and me and Chad and everybody else walking them streets? And I'm not talking about Chad Arnold either. I'm talking about our dead cousin, Chad Light. How old was we when we was running them woods and nobody ever messed with us? The main roads, hell, far.
No.
Okay, so does that tell?
I think it was right there on 110.
And if law enforcement thinks it didn't go no further than 110 Ben Hill Road, that would mean her mother and her father and her grandmother. Why are you dragging everybody into it, Fred?
Now what?
That's why the law enforcement thinks it's all happened on 110.
There was no dry drowning. There was no drowning. There was no abduction. Nobody took Summer. They had to get rid of Summer. Summer was a liability to the Wells family. Because, y'all know why. Summer had to get gone. So they got Summer gone. Summer wasn't run over by a truck. Summer didn't drown. She didn't dry drown. Her parents got rid of her.
Okay, then. I had nothing to do with the neighbors. I don't know them as well as everybody else. I didn't talk to them. I didn't associate with them. The first time I ever went with Donnie was on November the 22nd, or November of 2022, when the YouTubers was here and everybody went out to eat that was here. I mean, I was a neighbor to the Wells. That's it.
Did your son hang out up there by chance?
No, my son never hung out over there. If anything, the only thing he done was run over there and get the black and white dog when she got loose, or the male black and white Australian Shepherd when their dogs was in heat and he would run off. We would go get him from their property. That way they was not no pups.
So he never would swim in that pool?
No, we had our own little pop-up swimming pool over there if my kids wanted to swim in a swimming pool. They didn't associate with the Wells. Yes, she watched their kids like once or something. Yes, they watched my property when I went to the beach one time. But other than that, there was not no hanging out. We was not friends. We was neighbors. We was cordial. We was, yes, I sold them a little weed. That's the only thing wrong I have done. That's my guilt in any of this. I left when after Summer went missing, and it wasn't right after. I was gone by the 31st of July, and I was doing my other things.
Where were you staying at?
I was probably staying at my mom and dad's house, or as of July 31st or somewhere right in there. I was living somewhere out of town.
In Knoxville?
No. I've got receipts, and I can show receipts of where I stayed. Huh?
Sevierville?
Yeah.
So that's like right on the outskirts of Knoxville.
No, it's not, Ziggy.
Yeah, it's right east
No, it's not. Ziggy, come on
it's
now.
It's like from the middle of Knoxville. It's like
it's another hour. It is another hour from Sevierville, where I was, to Knoxville. I mean, come on, play your rules.
It's not that Sevierville. I don't believe it's that far away from Knoxville.
If you are in Pigeon Forge, and you're staying on the strip, it takes you more time to get out of the traffic in Sevierville and Pigeon Forge than 45 minutes usually. Have you never been down there?
Yeah, I was just down in Knoxville. Why do you?
You was in Knoxville. Yeah. Go to Sevierville during rod runs Jeeptoberfest or Jeep Fest or any kind of
You
anything.
didn't know I was in Knoxville just like from Sunday to Wednesday this week?
Yeah, Sunday to Wednesday. That's 3 days of a work week in Knoxville. That's everybody going back and forth to work.
You didn't know that I was there? You didn't know I just got back?
Yeah, I seen your live when you got back, and I seen your live when you was with Fred at Kathy's house. I'm not stupid, Jiggy. I don't watch everything that goes on the YouTube streets. I have a life to live. I do things with my wife. I do things for my parents. I do things.
I heard that in Andy's voice. He really wants to do things with his children, but he can't.
Other things. I don't revolve on this. I'm trying to move on from my past life and the things that occurred in my past relationship. But as far as Summer Wells, I had nothing to do with that. People can say I sold sedatives. I mean, I sold weed. If it is a sedative to you, then by all means, it's a sedative to you. If it helps with your depression or your anxiety or your cancer or whatever, that's all I've ever done. Yes, I've done other things. That's all I've really ever sold was weed, because it's kind of like a victimless crime. I mean, everybody pretty much smokes weed. Even the police smoke weed.
Not where I live, they don't. They never have, and I think they never will. Are we able to see how much Jodisue has damaged this case over the last 4+ years? Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. And join my memberships, please. Are we able to see the chaos and the lies that this woman has caused in the Summer Wells case? And I will see y'all later.